What is up, people on the interwebs? I hope you are having a spooky day for this terrifying month, and today we are back with another spine chilling video. And today's video we are going to explore 3 of the most creepiest places around the world. And the interesting thing with this list is some of the places on this list you guys may not even realise have quite a creepy background to it. So let's bring on the spooky atmosphere and let's dive straight on in to this creepy video. So number 1, our creepy location is called the Screaming Tunnels of Niagara Falls, based in Canada. So the legend behind this location is that a little girl haunts this screaming tunnel. The legend behind this haunting has many different versions of it. The most popular legend is that the little girl was running away from a burning barn, and as she was running away from the building, her clothes set ablaze and she was on the hunt for water to remove the fire from her clothes. While she was on the hunt for water, she ran towards the tunnel. As water runs through this tunnel, luckily she made it to the tunnel, but unfortunately she was too late at the same time. The damage was done. She collapsed on the floor within the tunnel and died from the severe burns on her body. That tale is the most popular legend to why the girl haunts this tunnel. Other legends include is that her father was so enraged and jealous that he dragged his daughter into the tunnel, set her on fire and let her burn to death due to the fact that he lost the custody battle to keep her with him. And one of the other legends is that she was attacked by an old drunken man who said to do terrible things to her, and once he had finished assaulting her and doing some of the terrible acts on her, he set her body ablaze to hide any evidence of the evil crimes he did to her. And those are the 3 most popular legends to why this girl haunts the tunnel. Although each of those tales were different, they all had the same outcome and the same key ingredient. In each of those tales, she was burned alive by fire. And that is the key thing with all these tales, is that this little ghost is terrified of fire. In each of those tales, while she was burning alive, she released a terrifying and blood-curdling scream throughout all of those horrible ordeals. And this blood-curdling scream that she let out for all of those deaths, it is still said that scream still echoes the tunnel to this very day. It is said now, if someone walks within the tunnel and strikes a wooden match, the spirit of the ghost girl will become so frightened and petrified that she will break through the void between our world and the world of the death to release a blood-curdling scream, and that a gust of wind will also blow through the tunnel to extinguish the flame from the wooden match, and then once the flame is out, the scream will stop. Now, moving on to number 2. Number 2 is quite an interesting location, and I don't think many people realise how creepy and dangerous this place can be, as in the news and media we hear more of the success stories than the actual tragedy stories, and the place I'm talking about is Mount Everest. Very rarely do we actually hear any of the sad and tragic tales that people have faced climbing this mountain, and some of these worst tragedies have actually ended in people losing their lives. So let's explore some of the creepy aspect of people climbing Mount Everest. So one thing I found quite interesting with doing my research is that Mount Everest is actually one of the most haunted places in the world, as many people have lost their life whilst they climb up this mountain, as they try to be one of the few who have actually made it to the top. So I think the most interesting thing we have to talk about this mountain is the amount of death it has faced as people have tried to reach the top, as it is notorious for taking so many people's life as they tried to reach the top. So one of the biggest reasons why people lose their life to this mountain is just the harsh environment that they have to face, as Mount Everest can throw avalanches, slippery slopes and the changing climate, which is most interesting against all those items I list. The changing climate is one of the most fatal reasons why climbers lose their life as they climb this mountain, as many people can't handle the vast change in climate, as climbers could be on the mountain facing a nice fine climate, and then all like that it can drop into the minuses, and many people freeze to death in this harsh and frozen climate. The saddest thing about this mountain is many people have died, and unfortunately many of these bodies still go unidentified to this very day. In fact, in 2017, 4 bodies were found dead in a tent at base camp. The analysts believe that these campers all died from altitude sickness. But what makes this tale even more creepier is that none of the local climbing agencies had not reported any climbers that had gone missing. So the real question we have to bring up here is, who were these 4 campers? Now, another legend on this mountain, it's quite gruesome and quite fascinating, and it leaves you in sort of a weird place. So just a quick warning, as I find this really spine-chilling, really fascinating, and kind of puts you in a weird sort of situation, kind of morally and ethically. So let's dive into this legend as well on the mountain. So it is said that there is a corpse on the main Northern Ridge route on the side of the mountain that has gained a notorious nickname called Green Boots. And this corpse has become a landmark. It has even been said that people have grabbed group photos and selfies with this corpse, as it has become an iconic landmark for this mountain. The sad thing is, this legend is absolutely true, as here is a photo of the notorious corpse of Green Boots. It definitely puts me in a sort of a mixed feeling boat, as I find it a little bit disrespectful that there are people out there who will climb to this mountain just to grab a selfie with this corpse. It doesn't really make them any better than a sort of Logan Paul in January when he filmed a corpse. It kind of just puts them in that boat of, why would you even want to take a photo with this kind of dead body? It's just wrong, I sort of think. But at the same time, I think it's important that they have to leave him there, as one, that is his final resting place. And it also shows to the other climbers that climbing Mount Everest is not a game. You could easily lose your life like Green Boots had to the harsh weather. So definitely kind of puts you in a weird sort of spine-chilly, creepy positions. And one thing for sure, it definitely gives me the heebie-jeebies. So definitely creepy. And there are so many more other legends and tales involving Mount Everest. There are legends that have involved dark, shadowy figures. Many have seen apparitions of ghosts of climbers who have lost their life to the mountain. And there's even been a legend about a ghost finding other climbers and pointing these climbers into the direction of his body. But yeah, there's so many legends about Mount Everest. Let me know if you guys want to learn more legends about Mount Everest, and I will do a video solely on Mount Everest ghost tales. But moving on to our final location, and that is the Queen Mary in California. Now this one is pretty interesting and probably one of the more famous locations on this list, as it is actually an old warboat which first did its voyage on 1937, and it was then retired at 1976, and it is now permanently moored at Long Beach in California, and it has been redesigned into a luxurious hotel where you can wine and dine, and there's even a museum inside to explore. But the most creepiest thing of all is they do nightly ghost tours. So if you want to stay a night and explore some of the ghosts around this boat, you can have a terrifying night, as there are many ghosts who actually haunt the Queen Mary, and some of the ghosts who haunt this location are quite terrifying and creepy. One legend states of a little girl who haunts the second-class swimming pool. The biggest reason why this little girl haunts the second-class swimming pool is because many years ago she actually drowned in this pool, and she has never left the swimming pool since. You can still hear her giggling around the pool area, her throwing items around, and many have claimed to seen wet footprints around the steps of the pool. And one thing for sure, there's nothing creepy than a little ghost girl haunting a swimming pool and hearing her eerie little giggly laugh. Definitely a creepy place to check, and I would not want to be checking that swimming pool alone. Another ghost that is said to haunt the Queen Mary as well is of a sailor engineer, as back in the 1960s there was a terrible accident that happened in the engine room where this sailor called John Padder was killed in a tragic accident during a routine drill, as it's said that he got trapped between a closing door, and you can still hear his terrifying screams, and many have heard him knocking or throwing items around. Many have actually claimed to see a shadowy figure of him haunting the engine room where his terrible accident had occurred. Many have also heard a lot of clunky sounds around the engine room. Some claim that it's still John working on the engine down in the engine room, and the most creepiest part of it all, many of people have felt cold presence around the door where he was crushed to death. Many claim that this is John trying to warn them about the door so they don't have the same fate that he did on that sad and tragic day. And finally, our last ghost on this boat is called the White Lady. Now this is meant to be the most famous ghost on the Queen Mary. Now she is a young and beautiful woman who wears a white gown and likes to dance to music that used to be played on the piano in the lobby. It is claimed that if you're going to see the White Lady, her most frequent apparition spot is the reception of the hotel. And most interestingly, this photo right here is said to be the best photo of the White Lady that has been captured. So what do you guys think this photo is? Do you think this is actually solid proof of the White Lady, or do you think this is just some person who's just been caught in the distance of the photo? I'll let you guys decide. But there you guys have it. Those were 3 of the most creepiest locations around the world. Let's remove the spooky atmosphere. But there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this video of 3 creepy locations around the world. I tried to be a little bit different and find 1 or 2 creepy locations that are quite different from a lot of other paranormal videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed the creepy location about Mount Everest and the tunnel. What I found most interesting when I was doing the research is about the Mount Everest, and like I said earlier, there are so many creepy stories around Mount Everest, and if you guys actually want to see a video solely related to some of the locations and creepy tales about Mount Everest, let me know and I will do a video, as they are quite interesting, and I think you guys would definitely want to hear some more creepy tales about Mount Everest. And just remember guys, keep being spooky, and I will see you tomorrow for another spine chilling video. Bye!